Samuel builds the fire, once lived a sober life, staying optimistic despite his poor circumstances. He was a storyteller, but eventually he found himself ignored. Alone and facing unemployment from an already tedious job as a hotel maid, life finally caught up to him, and he could no longer rely on tradition. With each glass of beer, Samuel gained a few ounces of wisdom, courage. But after a while, he began to understand too much about fear and failure too. At the halfway point of any drunken night, there is a moment when an Indian realizes he cannot turn back toward tradition and that he has no map to guide him toward the future. Sherman Alexie's The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fistfight in Heaven tackles the heavy reality of life on American Indian reservations, and Samuel was only one of the many characters we witness facing similar troubles. Beyond the personal troubles of Alexie's characters, the themes speak on a greater level of the human condition, of issues amplified for the Spokane Indians by their hollow existence on the reservation. Alienation, alcoholism, and poverty lurk within each scene of the novel as the characters struggle in a country that remains largely unaware of their daily troubles. Alexie shows us the hallucinations of Victor, Junior, and Thomas on a drug-induced journey into alternative histories. Victor steals a horse, proving his courage. Thomas performs the ghost dance and drives white colonists back into Europe. Junior becomes a singer in a United States run by Native Americans. But as with any drug, tradition became a means of escape. They sat and dreamed until dawn, but once Victor sees a vision of his grandmother walking toward him, he throws the remaining drugs into the lake and hides in Junior's car. They dream about what could have been, instead of confronting what had been. Thomas told stories regarding the past, present, and future. He told stories about the truth. However, the Spokane Indians became tired of his stories and chose to ignore him rather than to listen. The BIA agents decided his habit of storytelling was too risky. During his trial, Thomas tells a story in first person of a 16-year-old warrior named Wild Coyote who killed 2 soldiers in 1858. The Indians in the courtroom were deeply moved, but it was too late. He was sentenced to prison, ironically on the basis of racially motivated murder. The novel is about poverty. It's about alcoholism. It's about the aftermath of a string of unfortunate historical events. But more than anything else, it's about identity. Arguably more tragic than any other issue, the novel hits hard on the fact that what has happened in the past can never be taken back. No matter how much the characters dream, they'll always be awakened by reality. We witness many of the characters struggle with their circumstances, feeling deep nostalgia for a life they never had the chance to live. And certainly, many Native Americans face the same challenges today, not only struggling with poverty, but also with their identities, as their tradition clashes with the modern West. Despite this, however, despite Native Americans drifting out of the public's attention, the Lone Ranger and Tonto continue to quarrel in heaven, because the story is not yet finished.
Ranger and Tonto were riding down the Navajo Trail when a band of Indians found them, proceeded to surround them, and the Lone Ranger turned kind of pale. Tonto, our lives are in danger. We got to get away if we can. Tonto just looked at Lone Ranger. What you mean, we white man? Tell me what you mean.